Hi everyone. On this episode of 5 Minute Topics, we will be discussing leadership and specifically the pooled leadership approach. This is a form of leadership that is implemented effectively across a range of organisations. We will gain insight into the practical and personal experiences of Episteme Tech Solutions CEO Sandilya Vadlamani, discuss this type of leadership approach with experts in relative fields, and receive questions from callers looking for advice on their approach to leadership. Now, Sandy, firstly I would like to thank you for coming on the show. Please start by telling us how you started your journey in business and how you developed your approach towards leadership.
Hi Kevin, thank you for having me. Well, my first job or experience in technology was as an intern at a small medium-sized startup with the pool leadership model with a diet of two brothers. The mutual trust and shared vision were vitally important for the success of the leadership and organization. I feel trust plays the most vital role here. Through my growth in the corporate world, I came across a lot of organizations which failed to succeed because the leaders lacked trust. Importantly, both these brothers brought distinct areas of expertise from both management and tech backgrounds, demonstrating different primary areas of responsibility. I feel a real strength of this model is that we're exposed to unique perspectives, experiences, and skill sets. They were quick in addressing project constraints, maximizing efficiency in the team. This has really helped me to develop a skill of looking at the same situation in different perspectives. As I've risen through the ranks, I chose to adopt pool leadership where appropriate.
That's a very interesting story, Sandy. I'm going to throw over to Leon, who is our first caller, who has a question about healthcare.
Hi, I work in the healthcare and was wondering how would you translate your insight into practice in this type of organization?
Great question. So, as Sandelia mentioned, mutual trust is really important if this model of leadership is to work well in large organisations. Take entrepreneurial partnerships and large enterprises that have co-CEOs. Leadership here is actually recognised through collective contribution, suggesting a shift away from the idea of an individual leader towards more of an acceptance of a small leadership group. In terms of healthcare organisations, in NHS England, dyad leadership models have actually been found to be effective, with two individuals from different backgrounds sharing the responsibility for leading their organisational component. However, in larger, more complex organisations, challenges may arise for leaders due to multiple individuals sharing the leadership role. Collaboration, particularly insufficient information sharing and working in silos, is a major challenge faced by dyadic leaders in healthcare settings, but this can be mitigated against by setting clear goals and working towards a shared vision.
Brilliantly said, Jennifer. Echoing Sandelia's earlier points, building strong relationships and trust is rooted in possessing shared values between two leaders and working towards a shared vision, which will encourage both to perceive the relationship as mutually valued. This relationship differs regarding a number of leaders. In triads and larger groups, potential majority decisions in cases of disagreement arise which are negated in dyads. Despite this, triads reduce the need for leaders to rely on trust due to checks and balances exerted between each leader and their respective power. It is important to mention to our listeners that although Sandelia experienced a dyad, pooled leadership can be a triad or a constellation of group members collectively providing top-level leadership. Thank you for this question and I hope we answered it for you.
Thank you to Leon for his question, and Jennifer and Harry for their insightful input. We now have Kirsty from the Institute of Leadership and Management. Kirsty, can you tell me what you think this all means for leadership more generally?
So this is a really interesting question to pose after hearing Sandelia's experience, because we can see from his account that the fundamental aspects that pooled leadership requires were met, since the brothers both brought distinct forms of expertise to their roles and had built a strong relationship from a young age. These factors are instrumental in allowing pooled leadership to flourish and really perform to an organisation's advantage. However, just because this worked successfully in one scenario doesn't mean we should take it as a golden rule for all. Literature critiques pooled leadership for often manifesting itself in top management and blurring the lines between leadership and followership. As mentioned by Jennifer, trust is also a crucial component, and so this kind of leadership is characterised by fragility, meaning those thinking of implementing it in their business must consider this very carefully. It's also important to recognise that there are numerous avenues to go down when looking at how to lead, and we shouldn't box ourselves into one type just because we've heard it's worked for other people.
Throughout this episode, we've established various benefits associated with pooled leadership and where it is most effective. However, pooled leadership ultimately faces critiques when analysing the management and sustainability aspects of this style, as shown on screen. Thank you to everyone who has participated and joined us. We hope this was an insightful and enjoyable experience. Thank you.